I think engineering definitely helped me understand how things work in real life. Like, if I do this, something else will happen. I understand procedures better. I understand algorithms. I understand that to get somewhere, you can take multiple routes. It doesn't have to be just one way to make it happen. So I think a lot of my mindset has been modeled by engineering and understanding how stuff around you works. And I also think it fostered with this curiosity, like how is this working? What's the technology behind that? How is that technology working? So that I can make the most of it. So that part, I think it's definitely been one of the advantages of having this tech background.
Hi there, I'm Teo Aquinola and I'll be the host of this podcast series. Welcome to Activist Collector's One in STEAM edition, powered by Sense Project, a Horizon Europe initiative where Jake is partnering with actors throughout Europe to make science and technology more engaging by combining them with art, helping students learn throughout hands-on experiences and creative activities while encouraging more young people, especially girls, to get involved in this field. Let's dive into today's episode. Hi there, and welcome for a new episode of Activist Collector's Money Steam Edition, project powered by Sense. I am Teo Aquinola, and I'm really happy today to have next to me Ana-Maria Spătaru. She was really kind to accept our invitation. She's magic. She has so many things to share. She's an entrepreneur. She wears so many hats, but I will let her tell you all about this. So again, Anna, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. I hope you are having a great day and you're ready to dive into this episode.
Yeah, sure.
And I want to ask really slow by asking you, who is Anna? Because I said I should not present your hats. I said maybe you should present your hats.
Yeah, my hats are quite diverse, and it's one of the things I've been working on for the past few years. So I'm a product manager with a tech background. And apart from that, I am part of the organizing team of Innovation Labs, which is a pre-accelerator for tech startups in Romania. And I have been sharing these areas and work, and they currently work together now. So I think that's awesome.
Okay, wow. So we heard super many words and we're gonna dive into them one by one, but I wanted to ask you. You are a woman in STEAM. This is why we chose you because we saw your technical background, but we want to know how it all started. How did you even decide to go into this field of studying or so on?
I think it's a choice that you have to make very early on. So for me, it was before college that I have decided I want to go on this path of mathematics, programming, and all of it. But I think the moment it became like a true, let's say, calling for myself was in college when I realized that STEM isn't only about numbers and programs and algorithms and engineering. These are mere tools that you're using to build something more of a story. And I was very passionate about stories when I was little, so I enjoyed writing a lot. So when I chose the path with mathematics and numbers, for a while it felt like I was losing something. But then in college, it all clicked together again. When I realized that I can use all these tools and actually build stories with it, and it's what I've been doing ever since. But that was when I joined the student organization, BEST, Board of Engineering Students of Technology. And I think that experience brought me into a community of people that were as passionate as myself about building things, stories, events, everything. So that was the moment when I first felt like this is the right path that I chose.
Okay, so basically you started studying in the field, but the volunteering part in the organization made you really integrate and accept, like, okay, I'm here now, I know, and everything makes sense.
Exactly, because the academics part of it, yeah, is very interesting. But for many months, and sometimes till today, I've been wondering what is it all for? Like, what am I gonna use this
Yes.
for in real life? When will it be helpful for me to know these things? And I needed a context to make all of that work. And the first context that I got was volunteering. Then it was innovation labs, and then and now it's actually being a product manager and working with technology to deliver value for other people. So it's always been about context
Yes,
to apply these information tools for.
the context. And to be honest, I really relate when you were talking about context and the importance of volunteering. Do you see volunteering as being an important part that you couldn't probably get to the results and to the stories today if you
Definitely. Volunteering in best, but not only, has been one of the key factors that brought me where I am today. The people I've met there are still my friends. The part of the alumni from Best helped me transition towards product management and do more than coding, what I was doing at that time. Are the team in innovation labs is helping me grow as a professional, as a mentor, as a person. So I think definitely I wouldn't have been where I am today without volunteering.
did you ever been in an Erasmus or did you have also experience with international volunteering?
I wasn't in Erasmus, but it's definitely something I've wanted.
Okay.
Back then, it was just not the right time for it. But I've been interacting with international students since BEST was an international European NGO. So we had events like summer camps where people from all over Europe came to study about a specific topic. And of course, since we were organizing that event, we were connecting with them. And we also got the opportunity to go to other summer schools. So
Okay.
I would say I was in contact with the international side of it, which is something I'm actually very grateful for because I got a lot of new perspectives from their experiences and what they've told me about their educational system and what it was working for them and what was not working for them. So yeah, it was quite eye opening at that time.
This is where I wanted to go towards because, even with Erasmus or with Erasmus Plus or with whatever, opportunities we have, it's just important to pursue the opportunity when we have the chance. And as we can see, you pursued the opportunity and it led you here. Tell me, please, about your business, FlowX AI.
Yeah, it's the company I'm working for currently. It's a startup. It's a no code, full code platform that is currently helping banks deliver applications faster. And what I'm doing there is that I'm helping productizing the AI agents that help the configurators deliver solutions faster. So this is the part of the product that I'm working on, and it's one of the most exciting roles that I had in a while.
I can see, but I see your eye shining. So you really live your values, as you're saying. So, what it takes to be a product manager, or how you even become one, or you are good at it. If, as We have in a lot of jobs and fields, we hear a lot of, names that maybe we read online, we read on Google, we ask ChatGPT, but maybe not all the time we know that is the same in practice.
Mhm.
So, what is like in practice? It's a big responsibility. You think it's something hard, or it needs some certain skills?
I think for me, I did not know when I was in college that such a position exists,
Okay.
actually. So I had no idea. And I was in, let's say, the industry of recruiting students. So if I didn't know about it, probably there were a lot of other people that didn't know about it. Um, but right now, I think product management is, let's say, is becoming more and more popular, which I enjoy so much because product management is working with tech people. It's working with business people. It's working with marketing. It's working with a lot of stakeholders. The biggest part of it is working with the users, actually. So it's like this job where you have to connect everyone and make sure everyone understands why we're doing something. So it goes back to the part with the context and the stories that I've been telling you about, is basically creating this story where all the actors are working together in sync and delivering a product that actually helps. And I think that's the beauty of product management.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I wouldn't say it's a very difficult job or a not so difficult job, because it really depends on who you are, what you want to do, what skills do you have. But I think the best part of it is that currently tech seems like a layer that connects everything. So you don't have to be in tech to have experience with it, so to touch it, to work with apps and so on. And I think that's great that we are basically the connection between tech and the customers, the users, the real life people that are working with our applications.
So basically, us, we are one of the last people that came to this world maybe when the technology was not as it is today, with all these AIs and social media platforms and all these things. Do you feel that the world really changed a lot since we have technology so accessible at one click?
I think it definitely changed. In the area that I think it definitely changed, because now information is so much easier available. So you don't have to open a book or ask a teacher. It's something you can do on your own. And I think that gives a lot of power to the students. And I'm not talking about students in the as in their students in a
Mhm.
faculty or something. Hmm, I'm referring as students to people that want to learn something, regardless of their age. Of course, it can be easier for some and more difficult for others. But I think what AI and web usually has done is that it gave power to the people that wanted to do something. And it's awesome to be a part of this generation that had all of this available.
And being part of this generation in which many things change and we have everything at one click, do you think your background in engineering helped you in, maybe doing your job better or learning more, having this entrepreneurial mind, or you think there are also other factors?
I think engineering, it's definitely helped me understand how things work in real life. Like, if I do this, something else will happen. I understand procedures better. I understand algorithms. I understand that to get somewhere, you can take multiple routes. It doesn't have to be just one way to make it happen. So I think a lot of my mindset has been modeled by engineering. and understanding how stuff around you works. And I also think it fostered this curiosity, like how is this working? What's the technology behind that? How is that technology working? So that I can make the most of it. So that part, I think it's definitely been one of the advantages of having this tech background. Of course, it helps me in my day to day life to understand at least a little bit better the products I'm building, and to be able to talk with different stakeholders that are maybe in tech or in business or customers and so on. So it's easier to translate the concepts between these stakeholders. So definitely, it helped me quite a lot.
And I think also, as you discuss about having this connection all the time with multiple stakeholders, this means multiple views, multiple rights, multiple obligations, but also multiple applications of the same thing. Do you feel that creativity helps you also in, you know, maybe answering better to the request or molding, as you said, that you work with more stakeholders and you put their visions together? Do you think creativity helped, or the fact that you have also this artistic side and creative, because you mentioned about it in the beginning?
Yeah, I think the creative side came a little bit later, but I definitely see it now. For some time, I thought that they couldn't work together.
Okay.
But now, currently, the creativity comes from putting ideas together. So, indeed, for the data-driven part of it, it's important to be focused on the data, on the numbers. But it's not only that; you need to understand what is happening behind, where those numbers are coming from, what they mean. And at the end, you will reach some problems or ideas. And I think creativity comes to play when you have to put those ideas together to shape something new. So I think there's definitely a time and a place for creativity in product management and also in other areas. And it's awesome how they can work together. But for me, it's been important to know when it's time for the raw numbers, that, and when it's time to actually bring creativity in and play around with ideas, concepts, and come to conclusions and solutions.
Nice way, you make it sound so easy. Ha, like this part with the numbers and this part with the storytelling, which are both important, because when you go in front of, I don't know, when you pitch an idea, I think it's you need to have a bit of both of them. Um, Tell us a bit more about what you are doing at Innovation Labs, and because I think it's something really interesting, and I know people can apply no matter which is their age if they have a great idea or. And
Yeah, so Innovation Labs is a pre-accelerator for tech startups, and we're mainly focusing on founders that start as students, so
okay,
from college. We accept also high schoolers, but they need to also have somebody from college as part of their team. And what we're doing is that we take a team that has an idea and has a vision about the tech product, and we get them from idea to MVP, to minimum viable product. So it's a 3 months journey that we're leading them on. We are teaching them the basic principles of product management, how to build a product, how to listen to your users. Basically, that's the most difficult part that that we have to teach them. And how to reach conclusions and how to implement those conclusions. So it's quite a journey. And it's been the project that gave me energy for the last 6 years. So it's never ending energy because each year you have new startups, you have new people, and it's always something new, something challenging, also for us as organizers, as people that work with these teams to help them achieve their goal, you have to adapt to each idea, to each product, and they are quite diverse from agriculture to I don't know, AI, to how to make art more accessible in museums.
Okay.
So the range of ideas is quite big. And it keeps us on our toes to be always relevant, to be able to help them actually build that product.
And it's really cool that you also get even more creative and you get so many insights from so many places because it's not, I mean, as you were saying before, you went into engineering, but you did not stop there. You also tackled different domain. You are also in this part of startups. You are, you exit just the coding part. And I wanted to ask you the following question. So, as someone is entering in innovation labs, how do they deal with their school or their university? I mean, they need to skip it for 3 months, or how is?
No, definitely. They can do innovation labs and also keep doing their studies. Our program is meant to happen after the after hours from the courses at the university. Events can happen on the weekend, so there is no sacrifice, let's say, to be made by our participants, of course. It requires work, it requires time, but that can be in the evenings or early morning. So they don't have to skip all their courses or something, because it's important to keep in mind that startup and university can go hand in hand. It's not something that you will have to teach. I know there are some famous stories about people leaving university and pursuing startups and making it real, and that's awesome for them. It's awesome that it worked for them, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to drop college to be a startup founder. You don't have to put a pause to your education to pursue an idea. So yeah, we definitely encourage everyone to stay in university and use the information that university provides to help you build your startup.
How many girls are interested in this type of programs? Or there are more boys, or you have also girls that are pursuing?
Yeah, definitely. We have seen an increase in the number of girls that take part in teams in innovation labs. And I'm quite happy to see it, because I haven't been in touch with university, like the courses, to see how many girls are in each year. But through innovation labs, I can see that more and more girls are curious and want to experiment with startups. We also have teams that are made only of girls, which
Okay.
is not not so common, but it's
Yes.
happening. And I think it's definitely a change that is going on there and has been going on for the last few years.
Great. And I'm really happy to hear about the change because this is what we are doing here with Humanist Team. We are trying to present real life examples that did it. And, it's cool to have these conversations and to discuss. So we know that it's not so complicated and, these stereotypes are basically not necessarily true in this age and time.
Yeah,
Um,
indeed. And sorry about the stereotypes, because it's been something that it's been something with me for the last years. So basically, when I was in university, at everyone saying that girls at Politehnica is so rare, it's not true. In my year, we were definitely quite a few girls. I wouldn't say we were definitely not the majority, but we were there. And I think the stereotypes are fading more and more each year, which is something I'm very glad for.
Despite with the stereotypes, I know we hear it a lot, and as we also navigating on internet, you see a lot that maybe women should do certain jobs or. But how is your experience as being a woman in STEAM? Did you feel at any point that it was way harder or?
Honestly, no, I don't think I felt that. Um, I don't want to say it's not true because definitely different people feel things in different ways, and I'm sure there have been cases where this happened. But for me, honestly, it was quite smooth sailing so far. I've always worked with people that valued my opinion no matter what. I've always felt heard and not dismissed, definitely not based on gender. And I think that it was never an obstacle for me being a woman in STEM, and I've never felt that way. And I realized I might be quite lucky to got into these organizations that actually helped me grow and supported me, and wanted to hear my opinions on stuff. But I definitely think it was smooth sailing for me. So yeah.
And we need to hear this type of good stories. Seriously, there are many out there. There are many awesome women doing awesome things. And I think, even if you had some difficulties, this did not stop you for you to be recognized as one of the Forbes 30 under 30. You need to tell us a bit about that. How?
It's
And
all.
congratulations, sorry, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. It's definitely awesome to have your work recognized, and to actually the I think the most important part of Forbes was actually connecting with all the people that were at least in my edition, because it feels like you're entering a community of people that are all also building something or working towards something, and I think that in itself is inspiring. But I think that um, Forbes felt like some reward that you get after years, that I got after years of work. But it was not a goal in itself. It was not something that I've put on my vision boards or something. It wasn't that. But and I think that's the message I would like others to hear as well, is that it's not a goal in itself. You just need to work towards things that you're passionate about, that you believe in, and the recognition will always come after smart work. Not always after hard work, but after smart work. I think we also need to change the narrative a bit between hard work and smart work. So yeah, I would stick with smart work for now.
I agree also with the smart work instead of hard work. I think the hard work we are doing it in while we do our studies with all this accumulation of information. And now that we talk about smart work, what do you think about promising sectors for women that are now tackling and entering in STEAM? What do you think the future brings?
I think what is important to keep in mind is that you don't have to be only tech to be in STEAM. You can have a passion in fashion and then using tech to bring that to more people. You can have a passion for writing and create a platform for writers to gather feedback. So tech is nowadays, as I see it, is a layer that you can put on top of everything to magnify it, to bring it to more people. And I think that it should start from that. It should start from something you're passionate of, you're feeling strongly for. You feel not a calling itself, but it's something that interests you. And then use tech as a way to make that happen. not necessarily as a profession in itself or in a specific sector. Of course, I think product management is awesome, and I would encourage everyone to go for it. And But that is also a good example of how you don't have to be precisely focused on a specific industry. You can be a product manager in AI, you can be a product manager in banking application, you can be a product manager in basically any field that builds a technical product. So I think this is an awesome opportunity for women entering the tech layer of it all, that you are not you don't have to fill a specific spot. You can get to create your own spot, and I've seen it happening so many times in innovation labs. And It's definitely a source of inspiration for myself as well. But it's awesome to see how different ideas and experiences can work together and create something that delivers value to others.
I swear, you make it sound so easy. Like, also interested. I'm interested in innovation a lot, and but I also hear there are a lot of challenges when it comes sometimes to innovation, to this STEAM domains and the STEAM world. Like, okay, the world is advancing towards these domains, but in the same time, I hear also a lot of challenges, also personal, also a little bit towards professional life. Did you ever encounter challenges while being a woman in STEAM? And how did you tackle them if you did?
I have encountered challenges, um, definitely, like in all projects that I've been part of. There was something that didn't go quite well. So I have a lot of experiences with either small failures or let's say bigger failures. But I think it's somehow natural to have something stand in the way of innovation, because innovation it's can be also disruptive innovation or not so disruptive innovation. But at least for disruptive innovation, there is always something staying in the way of that, because it's the way things have been done so far. And it's normal to have these type of challenges. And I don't think there is a recipe that will fix all of that, or that it will fix it for each case or each startup or each initiative. But what I've learned to be the most important when having challenges and tackling problems is, again, the context and the people you're doing it with. Um, I think if you have around you a support system, if you have around you a team that is working towards the same goal, it's much more easier than taking the challenges on only by yourself. And this part of learning how to share challenges, how to share problems with my teams, and solving them together, it's something that I've learned. I wouldn't say quite recently, but also not so long ago. Um, because challenges are there to also help you grow. If we're talking about personal challenges, and if we're talking about like day-to-day challenges in our work, then it's definitely something to learn from that. And I think this mindset of learning something, failing fast, if you're meant to fail, it's better to do it fast so you can learn fast and do it all over again.
Okay. Um, I thank you for saying these words because it's really important to acknowledge that not all the time a challenge is only a challenge to make our life harder, but also an opportunity for us to, learn more and in future just to apply it and maybe to have it easier. And if I mention future, I wanted to ask you, how do you see technology evolving, or all these I don't know, jobs for women, or applications or AIs, because we hear everywhere ChatGPT. Now we have other competitor really strong. Tell us more about. How do you see the future for women and also in technology?
I think that technology has been a very fast evolving sector for a while now. Indeed, so in the last years, we've seen a big increase in the pace. But I think that this feeling that something is also always changing, always evolving, is been here for a while now. And I think what we should do to prepare ourselves for this technology that keeps evolving is to stay in tune with it, understand it, and also help others understand it. Because, as you've said, we're part of this generation that has been with technology for most of our lives, but there is still a big sector of the population that did not have that growing up, and they're not used to the fast pacing of technology. And I think that often we don't pay too much attention in there because we're looking at the new shiny thing. But I think it's a lot to gain from creating applications and technology that are also helping others to access better technology or more useful technology. Overall, I think that what we need to do is to stay in tune with technology, understand it, read about it, experience with it, because now almost anything has a free trial or a free version. So I would say to put the creative side of each one of us to it, test it, and understand how it could be used in other areas of our life. And it's a good thing that technology is evolving, but it's up to each one of us to decide how we apply this technology. Because technology in itself is not good or bad. I don't think it's good or bad. It all depends on how you are working with it.
Yes, I agree with you. And I really think that maybe it was invented with a positive scope. Now that sometimes we see it being used in different, it's only up to us to learn more and to, become way more adapted with how to use it best. We are coming pretty soon towards the end, but right before we talk about last parts, I wanted to ask you if you have, as you work with multiple organizations and multiple environments of any type, if you have any advice for organizations of any type
Mhm,
of how can um, be created an environment way more inclusive for women that are in STEAM.
mhm. Honestly, I would approach this as I approach anything else as a product manager. So understanding the need, basically. Um, Talk to women that have been through similar experiences. Um, Basically, as again, as in product management, don't assume you know the problem and don't assume you know the solution. Just have the empathy and the curiosity and the patience to ask and understand. um, and then if you ask for long enough and if you listen for long enough, you will reach that set of ideas that you can then be creative with. But I think that the best advice I would give as part of a woman in multiple organizations that I felt that were supporting me each step of the way, um, would be listen to the needs of the women in those areas. I think that that is the key because we as women tend to share if we're asked about it. And I think the problem is rather might be that we're not asked about it enough, rather than us not telling what we want.
It's important to spark dialogues. And as you were saying, in product management, we say this that it's important to listen to the needs. I swear, if the politicians would do this, how the world will be shaped.
I think that once I've discovered product management, um, I've actually applied this in basically almost all areas of my life. So I assumed that I felt that the core principles of listening, understanding, and then building something that solves a problem is something you can apply in anything. I apply it in innovation labs. I apply it in my everyday job. I apply it with my friends. I apply it with my family. So I really feel that this profession helped me understand everything better, not just tech and applications and stuff.
And I relate to you. And as a final message for our viewers, listeners, I don't know, please feel free to share anything. The floor is yours.
I think what's most important is to build contexts for yourself where you can shine, where you can deliver value, where you can help others. Um, and this was not obvious to me when I started my career, that I have to create this context for myself. I've always thought that people are put in context and then they have to do something with it. But I realized that the context can be created by you by being in a room with people that you find interesting, by listening to things that seem curious at the first time. So, this passion to just grow in areas that you think are interesting will lead you to creating this context for yourself. So, I would wish for all of you to just create better context for yourselves. And I think from there you can take it up anywhere you want.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope you had a great time.
Definitely.
And we'll see you soon then. Thank you so much. And
Thank
for everybody that wants to follow Anna's journey, you can check on her channels. We'll share below. Thank you so much, Anna, for being next to us. And this was another episode of Activist Collectors Humanist Team Edition. I am Teo Akinola, and see you soon. Thank you so much for listening and viewing us again. Bye bye.
Bye.